Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to explore one of the most pressing topics for our profession: artificial intelligence and its role in libraries. We'll look at what AI is, how it is already influencing library work, the opportunities it opens up, and the ethical and strategic challenges we need to face. The goal is to move beyond hype and think critically about how libraries can shape and not just react to this transformation. Artificial intelligence is no longer a futuristic buzzword. It is something patrons, students, and staff are already interacting with every day. When someone uses ChatGPT to summarize an article, when they ask Siri a question, or when Netflix recommends a film, they are relying on AI. So, why libraries? Because libraries have always been at the center of information access, literacy, and equity. AI is reshaping those very things. The American Library Association has even said that libraries need to move from a support role into a leadership role in guiding how society interacts with AI. This isn't just about adopting new tools, it's about ensuring libraries remain relevant, trustworthy, and proactive as technology changes how people find and use information. Before we go further, let's clarify what we mean by AI. Artificial intelligence refers broadly to computer systems that can perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, tasks like problem solving, learning, understanding language, or recognizing patterns. Within AI, one major branch is machine learning, algorithms that get better as they are exposed to more data. And today, the most disruptive branch is generative AI. These are models like ChatGPT, Gemini, or Midjourney that can create entirely new content, writing essays, composing music, generating artwork, or summarizing long documents. For libraries, this shift matters because it changes the way patrons expect to search and discover information. We are moving from keyword searches to semantic intent based searches, where a system can understand the meaning behind a query. That has enormous implications for how people approach our catalogs, databases, and collections. Let's look at where AI is already showing up in library practice. First, patron services. Many libraries are experimenting with chatbots on their websites, bots that can answer routine questions like hours, policies, or how to get a library card. This reduces repetitive workload on staff and makes sure patrons get answers instantly, even outside business hours. Second, collection management. Tools such as Collection HQ use AI powered analytics to predict what books or media are likely to be in demand. This allows libraries to make smarter purchasing and weeding decisions. Third, cataloging and metadata. AI can assist in assigning subject headings, generating metadata, and even suggesting linked data relationships, making discovery more efficient. Finally, operations. AI can automate reminders for overdue items, manage holds, and help optimize circulation workflows. Many of these functions happen quietly in the background, but they free up human time for more impactful work with patrons. One of the most powerful transformations lies in discovery. Traditionally, a library catalog depended on exact keyword matches. Patrons had to know the right subject heading or phrase to find what they needed. AI is changing this. With semantic search, the system interprets meaning and intent. For example, if someone types, "What's a good beginner's resource on data visualization?" An AI enhanced discovery layer might pull together books, articles, and even tutorials, even if the exact phrase doesn't appear in the metadata. This is closer to how humans think. It makes discovery more intuitive, especially for novice users. But there's a trade off. Recommendations come from algorithms whose workings aren't always transparent. Whose perspectives are prioritized? Which biases are embedded in those search models? These are questions libraries need to consider carefully. AI isn't just about searching and sorting, it's also about creativity. Libraries are beginning to use AI generated images and graphics for marketing and outreach. Imagine needing a flyer for a storytime program. You can generate professional quality visuals in minutes with a tool like Canva's AI or Midjourney. Some libraries are also running AI literacy workshops, teaching patrons how these tools work and how to critically evaluate AI generated content. Others are experimenting with incorporating AI into programming, like makerspaces or digital literacy classes. This creative use of AI helps libraries remain vibrant and relevant, meeting patrons where they are and showing that libraries can also be hubs for exploring emerging technologies. Whenever we talk about AI, it's easy to get excited about what's possible: faster cataloging, better recommendations, personalized services, but we also need to stop and confront the risks. These are not abstract worries, they're real challenges that libraries are already facing. Let's go through them one by one. First, there's bias. AI models are trained on massive data sets collected from the web, books, and other sources. But these data sets reflect the inequalities of society. If a dataset underrepresents women scientists, then an AI might generate fewer recommendations that highlight their work. If it contains stereotypes, those stereotypes can show up in answers or search results. For example, an AI driven search system might return mostly male authors when asked for works on computer science, simply because of imbalances in the training data. This is dangerous because libraries exist to broaden access and counter bias, not reinforce. Second, we must consider privacy. Confidentiality has always been a core library value. Patrons trust us to protect their borrowing records, their search histories, and their questions at the reference desk. But when we integrate third party AI tools, we may be exposing that data to commercial systems. For example, if a chatbot logs patron questions to improve its responses, who owns that data? Could it be used in future training datasets? Could it be sold? We need to think carefully about what data is being collected and where it's going. Third is the problem of misinformation and deepfakes. Generative AI can produce text, images, and even videos that are completely fabricated but look authentic. Imagine a student relying on an AI to summarize sources, only to be given citations to books or articles that don't even exist. This already happens, and it erodes trust in information systems. Libraries must prepare to teach communities how to evaluate AI generated content critically, just as we taught information literacy in the early internet era. And finally, there's equity. Some libraries, especially in wealthy institutions, may have the budget to subscribe to advanced AI platforms, integrate them into their catalogs, and provide cutting edge services. But smaller or rural libraries may not. That could deepen divides between communities where some patrons have access to powerful new tools and others don't. And even within one community, not every patron will have the same digital literacy to use AI effectively. If we don't address this gap, AI could actually widen inequality rather than close it. So, when we look at AI in libraries, we have to balance excitement with responsibility. For every innovation we consider, we need to ask: does it reinforce bias? Does it compromise privacy? Does it contribute to misinformation? And does it serve all communities equally, not just those with privilege and resources? These are the ethical guardrails that must shape how we move forward. This brings us to the heart of our professional role. Organizations like IFLA and the Association of Research Libraries are calling on libraries to be ethical stewards in this new landscape. Libraries have always been trusted intermediaries. We teach information literacy, we preserve privacy, and we fight for equitable access. Now, those same values must guide how we adopt AI. That means offering AI literacy programs, advocating for transparency in vendor systems, and ensuring that our communities are not left behind. The American Library Association's recent framing, claiming our place at the center of the AI future, is really a call to leadership. Libraries cannot sit on the sidelines. So, what does a strategic response to AI look like in practice? First, we must begin with staff training and capacity building. Many library staff members are curious about AI but may feel overwhelmed or underprepared. Training isn't just about learning to use a chatbot or design an AI graphic, it's about understanding the underlying systems, their strengths, their limitations, and their ethical challenges. Just as librarians once learned about the internet, databases, or social media, they now need foundational AI literacy. Without it, libraries risk becoming dependent on vendors without truly understanding what's under the hood. Second, we need strong vendor engagement. Libraries already depend on vendor systems. integrated library systems, discovery layers, databases. Increasingly, these vendors are embedding AI into their products. That means librarians must be proactive in asking, how is this AI trained? What data is being used? Can we audit its outputs for bias or errors? Vendor contracts need to address privacy, explainability, and ethical use, not just cost and functionality. Third, we need policy development at the institutional level. Libraries should be drafting AI use guidelines, both for internal workflows and for patron facing services. Policies should cover how AI generated content is labeled, how patron data is protected, and how staff will review AI outputs for accuracy. Clear policies prevent misuse, protect patrons, and give staff confidence in using new tools. Fourth, AI has to be integrated into strategic planning, not treated as a side project. Too often, new technology pilots are seen as experimental, but AI is here to stay and its impacts are systemic. Strategic plans should outline not just how libraries will test AI, but how they will sustain it, budget for it, evaluate its effectiveness, and align it with the library's mission. Finally, collaborative initiatives are essential. Libraries should not face these challenges alone. Partnerships with universities, municipalities, and even international networks like IFLA or ARL can help shape wider standards and policies. For example, research libraries are pooling resources to develop guiding principles, while public libraries are joining consortia to test AI literacy programs for communities. These collaborations give libraries a stronger voice in national and even global AI governance. Let's make this real with some case studies. First, in collection development, the tool Collection HQ uses predictive analytics to recommend which books to purchase, which to retain, and which to weed. Instead of relying solely on circulation history or staff intuition, it looks at broader patterns across similar libraries. The result is a more data driven approach to managing collections, but it also raises a question. Are algorithms reinforcing popular trends at the expense of niche or diverse voices? This is a tension libraries must navigate. Second, at North Carolina State University Libraries, they introduced the Ask D.H. Hill chatbot. This system uses AI to handle basic reference queries, from directional questions like, "Where's the printer?" to more complex queries that require connecting users to guides or databases. While it frees up reference staff, the university also learned that it must continually monitor the chatbot for accuracy, since incorrect responses could damage trust. Third, consider Harvard University's Library Data Initiative, where nearly 1 million digitized public domain books have been made available as training data for AI developers. On the one hand, this empowers innovation and makes library holdings more visible in the digital age. On the other, it raises deep debates about stewardship. Should libraries allow commercial companies to build for profit models on top of publicly funded collections? How do we ensure attribution, accuracy, and respect for the original works? Finally, the Association of Research Libraries, ARL, released a set of guiding principles for AI adoption. These principles emphasize values we hold dear: inclusivity, transparency, accountability, and community benefit. What's powerful here is not just the guidelines themselves, but the recognition that libraries must lead in articulating ethical standards for AI use. Together, these cases highlight both the diversity of AI applications and the complexity of their implications. AI is not one thing, it's a spectrum of tools and practices. Each application comes with benefits, but also with questions that require us to pause and reflect. Now, let's talk about what does the future look like when we think about libraries and AI? Libraries have always been more than just places that loan books. We are cultural anchors, community learning spaces, and guardians of knowledge. In the age of AI, our role as guides, educators, and ethical leaders becomes even more important. First, libraries can become champions of AI literacy, just as we once taught information literacy, helping patrons evaluate websites, understand sources, and recognize misinformation. Today, we need to teach critical AI literacy. Patrons need to understand how to use AI responsibly, how to recognize deepfakes, and how to question the biases of generative models. Second, libraries can shape policy and governance conversations. AI is not just a technical issue, it's a societal one. Libraries, with their long history of advocacy for intellectual freedom, privacy, and access should have a seat at the table when governments and organizations debate how AI will be regulated. Third, libraries can support inclusive innovation. AI has the potential to widen inequities, but it can also empower communities if guided thoughtfully. Libraries can provide access to AI tools for those who can't afford subscriptions and can demonstrate how AI can be used to create, to learn, and to participate in civic life. The question isn't whether AI will change libraries, it already has. The real question is whether we allow ourselves to be passive adopters, simply reacting to technology companies, or whether we claim our role as active leaders. If we do the latter, libraries can ensure AI strengthens our democratic mission rather than undermining it. Let's pull the threads together. First, AI is already embedded in library services, from chatbots to metadata tools, from predictive analytics to AI designed flyers. It's here and it's growing. Second, the potential is enormous. AI can make services more efficient, discovery more powerful, outreach more creative, and learning more engaging. It can also provide accessibility tools that make collections more inclusive for people with disabilities. Third, the risks are real. Bias, misinformation, privacy breaches, inequitable access, these are not abstract problems. They are already appearing in the systems we use. If left unchecked, they could damage the trust libraries have built over decades. Fourth, our professional values matter more than ever. Equity, access, intellectual freedom, privacy, these must guide how we adopt AI. If libraries lead with values, we can innovate responsibly. Finally, the future is about guidance, not resistance. AI isn't going away. We don't serve our communities by rejecting it or ignoring it. Instead, we serve them by leading, teaching, shaping policy, and ensuring AI is used in ways that empower rather than exclude. That is our challenge and also our opportunity.